Hello and what's going on, guys? This is CNM Gaming. Welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about the Clan Wars update for Clash Royale, which is coming out next week, hopefully on Monday the 23rd. Now, I'm really excited about this update, and I'm sure a lot of other people are as well. But I need to go over some of the essentials that I hope, and a lot of people hope, come out of this update. Mainly the buffs and nerfs of the cards, since there's been a few added recently and there's a lot of balances that need to happen to balance out the game. I'm going to put these two games on whilst I talk about this. There's not just a black screen to be looking at. But starting off with the buffs, one essential buff that's needed is the Mega Knight. I feel like its spawn radius needs to come back to the way it was before the nerf. And its jump and spawn damage, I think, needs to go back to the way it was, minus 10%. As I feel like they literally sucked the life out of Mega Knight in the last update, going from the #1 used card to now barely being seen at all, almost like Sparky sort of appearance levels. And it's just ridiculous. So hopefully that will be changed massively and be put back to almost where it was before the nerf in the last update. Now, arrows and fireball are the next things that I think need a buff, and they need, for me, to fire 20 or 25% faster to make themselves more viable in the meta and in decks in general, as I feel like poison is everywhere right now, and I feel like they need to be buffed slightly to make them balanced. The third thing I'm going to go on to that needs a buff is Barbarian Barrel. I think it needs an extra tile range so it can hit the King Tower once you've took one of the Princess Towers, and I think it needs to be able to knock back the battle ram and possibly even the Princes. But you can let me know what you think about that and the rest of the cards down in the comment section below. Now, getting on to the fourth card that I think needs a buff is the Magic Archer. I think its HP, its range, I think that's completely fine, but I feel like its accuracy needs an improvement, or maybe a slightly wider arrowhead to make it balanced. One of the most essential buffs, apart from the Mega Knight, I think is needed as well in this update, is Skeleton Barrel. As with 8 skeletons, it was a little bit OP, but when they nerfed it to 6, you virtually see it in no decks in the game anymore. So I think 7 will be the perfect amount and will be a good balanced amount for the card in the game. And the final buff I would suggest is Hunter. I feel like this damage is enough, but I feel like it needs to hit slightly faster and it will be a perfect card. Now, going on into the nerfs, there's several cards in my opinion that need drastic nerfs. An urgent one is Goblin Hut. Now, Goblin Hut, in my opinion, needs like a 20-25% HP nerf, as it takes 2 fireballs, like mirrored, like 9 elixir, just to take it out. And people are happily rocked in the Goblin Hut all the time for a -1 elixir trade, and are being happy about that play. And that just says all you need to know. I think with a 25% HP nerf, it's going to bring lightning back into play and back into the meta, as unless they place the Goblin Hut in the first 2 tiles on their side, it's going to get hit by the lightning, and lightning will almost destroy the Goblin Hut with a 25% HP nerf, and also hit the tower, making it more viable to be used. And I feel like with the Goblin Hut nerf as well, it makes it more worth it to fireball it, and I think overall it will make it a more balanced card to use. The second one, which probably a lot of you will agree with, is the Dark Prince. The last update, I think the DPS buff and HP buff was a little bit too much. I love the card, but I think one of them has to be reverted back to the way it was before the previous update. Now, I think another problem with like swarm decks coming into the meta recently a lot more is the spear goblins, and I feel like they need a DPS nerf. Not so much, but just slightly, just to balance them out. And there's a few sort of on the cusp ideas I have for nerfs, which some people might not agree with, and that is Tornado. I feel like it's used so much, I feel like it needs to have less effect, less pull on heavier units like the Giants, and I feel that'll balance out the card, just something to make it a little less OP. Another one is defensive buildings like Inferno Towers and Tessas, which could perhaps have a slightly smaller duration time. And for Tesla, for example, instead, you could keep the duration the same, but maybe have its hit speed from like 1 second reduced to like 1.1 seconds to balance it out. And the final one, which nobody will probably expect me to say in this commentary, is a Golem nerf. Not its damage, but it's HP by 5%, as I feel like there's a load of Golem beatdown decks lately in Clash Royale, and I feel like the Golem needs to be nerfed slightly to stop that happening as much. And for the last part of the video, I'm going to be talking about recently today, the 19th of April, there has been some news on Clan Wars today from when I'm recording about 2 hours ago. As you can see here, guys, this is the teaser image from Clash Royale that was released earlier on today, and they said that they weren't going to give any like teasers to YouTubers and give any inside snippets for them to share, but with how big like this update is and how hyped people are getting from it, there was no way they were just going to drop it without giving us any teasers. And this is probably one of the first of like a few teasers they're going to give us. And as you can see in this image, there's a boat in the water and it looks like it's heading towards the island in the top part of the screen. And on there you can see like a bridge and a cavern and some woods. It's got good detail on the map. Now, what could this mean exactly? Well, it could mean like two things, I think. This has something to do either with Clan Wars, and that you use that boat to go to islands to go in like clan battles, and you've got to gain ground to earn like prizes, and maybe the clan chest prizes come from the territory you gain. So say you gain more and more territory, that's where the rewards get bigger and bigger. The other thing could be very unexpected, probably twist, but it's some sort of like little campaign they've added into Clash Royale. Now, that is probably quite big to do, so I don't think that will be the way they go, but it is an option, and I'm really hyped for this new update, and I did not expect this, but I think it could be only one of those two options. But I'll let you know if I see any more teasers, and I hope this update is as good as it's getting hyped up to be. I hope you guys have enjoyed the content, and if you did enjoy the content, then please leave a like, please subscribe, feel free to comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.